to tier 3, as per usual. I'm on my own. Don't have a compadre around to ease my throat. That sounds awful, but it's true. Um, yeah, it's L doing these on your own, because it takes so much out of you. But yeah, as per, gonna have to change some settings for the first minute or two of qualifying, and once we can get that done, we'll be on to the exciting stuff like the qualifying laps and the race. It is Hungary, so I don't know how much racing we'll get. It looks dry for now in quali, but we will see what happens. Let's get the telemetry on. We don't need the telemetry on actually. We can keep the lap data on though. We'll need that, and then we'll have the track map also. Right. Yeah, so that is too loud instantly. Oh shoot! I just dropped my phone. I nearly just dropped my phone in the bloody beaker of water as well. That would have been hell. Where is audio settings? There it is. Alright, let's get the master volume down quite a bit. We'll get the onboard mix on drive because it's quite mellow, quite nice. And that should be okay then. Yeah, that sounds about right. I'll have a look on stream in a minute and we'll figure out what sounds best for you lot as we go along as per usual. Who won last week? What was it? I can't. I have to have a look at the championship standings for this tier. I'm not too sure how it went last week. I was there, but was I there? No, I wasn't there. Was I? Wait there. I don't think I was. Because I remember watching it and the racing was very clean. It was actually really nice to watch. I wasn't there, but Greek Bill did win, and then we had the debut of Lausanne finishing P2. Then we had Indian Jesus taking the P3 with Bailey Fox just behind. It was in Imola, that was right. Now we're on to round 14 with Hungary. Harry Palmer's on a lap and he's just starting it, so we'll get on board with him. Audio seems a little bit loud, but he takes a good apex there. Not really an apex you really need to be climbing up onto. You can just hover against the white line and carry enough speed to get around. Comes around nice and narrow for the left-hander. Doesn't take as much of a wide entry as he can to carry the speed. And he said Harry there. But coming to turn 4 now, dreaded. A lot of apex there. Can take a lot less to be safer, but if you think you can handle the splash of the car going left and right, you can take it. Coming to the right-hander now, you need to have nice apexes here. You can jump up on that left apex to carry a better line, as he does. Decent little lines here, touching every apex. Extends nicely in the right-hander into the fast left, into the even faster right, which I believe is turn 10 or 11. It's a nice apex, nice exit, sorry, onto the curb. Not taking any curb onto the entry of the right-hander though. A lot of curb on the exit, which seems to be nice. He's carrying a decent amount of speed. This is where you'll see the car understeer in this last sector, as the tyres do get very hot in Hungary when you get to the last few corners. Comes around pretty tiptoey as he comes around. So it's a 118 flat, so it's a decent start. Good banker to set, good precedent for the rest of the drivers as everyone comes around. But an even better precedent is Indy is setting a 116.4, so massively outshining little Harry Palmer there. Not a bad lap from the both of them, but Mazzles jumps in between the two of them to split them up after a very good race yesterday in Hedge for Mazzles, so he's coming off with a bit of form in his last few races, which is nice to see. Usually he's very good in Hedge, so hopefully he can bring a bit of that power into the Monday afterwards each week. Only got 2 races left after this race, so it'll be interesting. We've got Bazza jumping into P3 with a 117. P4 Digweed jumping up ahead of Harry Palmer, as well as Richie, RPM Richie there for Mercedes. So yeah, everyone seems to be doing pretty decent laps to start with. I'll leave you on board with someone interesting while I have a look at the stream and make sure everything's running okay, and I can say hello to you lot. My mouth's already getting dry, you know. I ain't got the stamina for this. All sounds pretty good, not too bad at all. I'm going to try and put my mic down a little bit actually, just so we can remove a little bit of background noise. And then apart from that, I think we're tip top for the rest of the race, and no more messing about, which would be nice for you lot. Jerry, I haven't started a lap yet. Well, I think he might be starting one now, finishing one, sorry, but he's got a bit of traffic there, which would have been a bit distracting for his first lap. But coming across the line to set a 117.3, so not bad, up into P6 initially. Trunders has crashed. I think we've seen this a few. Oh no, he hasn't crashed. He's retired, so he must be serving up a drive-through penalty. Hello, Scott and Nathan in the chat also. I forgot to mention that. I think I can have a look at race control, see who is serving penalties. So, IRT Connects and Trunders are serving penalties. Connects isn't here, so he won't be serving that until next week. But Trunders serving his now, and it's not the best of tracks to be serving a quali ban. It's a really tricky track. I think I say that every week. But it's a tricky track to start from the back. You've got so much going on ahead of you, but not a lot of track to get around what is going on. So it'll be interesting to see how he does starting from P19. He might even start a bit higher if people do end up getting DSQ'd or retiring, because sometimes for some reason you can finish last, even if you don't retire first. But yeah, Greek Bill, the winner of last week, invalidating in his sector 3 of his lap here. Might have invalidated a bit earlier, but we've jumped on soon enough to see that he isn't going to be setting a time on this run. Got a few more people going on for laps now. So we'll stick on with Goat Yellow fell on for a bit as a few of you start joining the stream, which is nice to see. Don't have a tier 4 starting on until 8, so hopefully we can get a few people coming along at the moment. We see, what is that? Got a McLaren there. Lost for words there. Thinking of Mercedes, buddy. Every other team beginning with them, apart from McLaren. But McLaren off the track there, letting Gautier fell on through safely. Big, little bit. Well, I say a big, little bit of a slide there. Taking too much curve. If you take too much curve there and you're turning at quite a high angle, and what I mean by that is if you're turning quite aggressively for how fast you're going, you can produce oversteer, and the car will want to go around more than it can handle, so the rears will kick out and the rears will start rotating quicker than the fronts, which is not very nice when you're going at a fast corner like that. But sets a time anyways. Jay Harden, I believe, is on a lap now carrying on, so we'll get on board with him. Indian G is still P1 at the moment. He's on an outlap, so when we do see that icon change to not from outlap, we'll jump on with him and see how much he can improve. Yellow flags in the sector Jay Hartman is in right now, but just people slowing down, heating the tyres, so not too bad. 118s at the moment seem to be where you want to break into to get into the top 10. You need to break into them to get into the 17s and set a more respectable time. 16s for the drivers at the top who are looking to be challenging for a win and a podium today. But anyways, Indian G is coming across now to start his lap, I believe. So we'll see how he does. He's got a 1:16.4, so it's a good lap already. But let's see how he does. We'll get all the cinematics off for this now. Nice apex there, taking a good amount of apex. Not enough to be unsettling the balance of the car from the left hand side to the right, but enough to be apexing and cutting down on the track time. Same there, it takes a lot of the apex. Doesn't really need to touch the white one. You can really stick with the white lines on that corner. But nevertheless, apex is really nice with a good amount of exit speed. Not taking too much entry curb there, which is good, because if you do, it can really unsettle the car and even skid it. Basically, it's half and half over the curb. Into the right hander though, nice apex just up against those sausage curbs. As close as you can get without mounting them, really. You can, but it is a bit risky, like I have said plenty of times already. But nice exit there as well, not taking too much of an exit there, going over the curbs, just being nice and safe. Same there, bit of traffic, that's really going to be annoying for him, but he has got a clear track, so it shouldn't infringe him too much. Coming under here, braking under the DHL board, nice and close to the apex. You can take it a bit wider than that to carry a bit more speed, which I think he might have lost a bit of time there, but other than that, the lap has seemed very clean. Nice tight apex, you can really lose the rear there, and he did for a bit. You can see with the way he straightened out there, he did end up with a little bit of oversteer, countered the steering to the left, straightened out a little bit, which would have lost him a bit of time, but still a very good lap, and it did improve. A 1:15.9, so very good 7/10 a gap to the top. Really. So P1 clear at the moment. Fandango, we usually see him at the top of quali, but never really flowers into the race, which hopefully you can do at some point today. We'd love to see him bounce back and get a decent result on the top 3. Maybe we'll see. But Bailey Fox P4. He's never the best qualifier. He's never really in the shout for pole in Tier 3 Monmouth Bailey, but he's all right in the race though. We've seen that he's challenging for a good place in the championship. We'll see how he does. But at the moment, he's gonna have to pull up with his qualifying, and I don't think he's supposed to be driving here, mate. But you're not really getting anything, so he's not done anything wrong. No marker boards has been it, so he's looking all right. Anyways, Mazzles is on a lap, 4.5 seconds over his delta, so he'll not be improving. Must have had a major issue with the Alpine on this lap. Fandango, obviously, we said has jumped up to a 116.6, sorry. Which is what Indian G's was at initially, but now has completely stepped up the level with a 115.9. So it's going to be quite the bridge to gap at the moment for the rest of the drivers. Draper, wow, very good lap from Draper, 116.8. It's not something that's going to challenge for P1, but bloody hell, that is a brilliant lap from Draper. Usually you don't see him near the front in Tier 3 at the moment. Had a decent little race in Hedge last night, same with Mazzles. We was fighting for a good position, so he's on a bit of form himself. Looking to gain a few points today. He was talking about his points tally in Cone this season. I think he's on about 15 points, I think he said, which is double what he had last season, in his own words. So if I've got that wrong, that's on him. But I'm pretty sure that's what he said. So he's doing alright at the moment, not too bad at all. RPM Richie now coming around in the last sector. Not too sure if he's on a lap. No, he's definitely not on a lap. Why has he got a 5-minute 50 lap? What? That can't be right. Anyway, we'll stick with him, just in case it is a glitch, but that is a bit weird. He did a 1:17.5, okay, so he's into P9. In a bit of a pit stop phase now, 6 minutes. We've got the new patch where we're allowed to choose our tyre compounds now, which means we get 2 sets of mediums if we choose it. And what that means as well, it does affect quali. With quali, it affects us because we only get to have 3 sets of softs now, whereas we would have 4. A lot of people before the patch would have still only used 3 because a lot of people like to use save a set of softs. More in the higher tiers of racing, people would do that as it was more of a planning ahead decision rather than something you can just get away with having a 4th running in case you mess up 1 or 2 and you have that leftover time. But because of that now, if it's only 3 off the bat, it's your choice if you want to use 2 and save 1. Because a good reason to save softs, like for tracks like this, you'd never think softs would be any good use, and they won't be. They'll last about 4 laps, and they'll pop their clogs on the 5th. They're crap because they just don't have any lasting rubber on them because of how soft the compound is. But good thing about having a set of softs, they don't even need to be fresh for this reason. But if you do get damage on lap 1 or 2 when it was only 1 set of mediums and 1 set of hards, if you're on one of those compounds, you don't want to jump onto the other one and waste it because there's going to be so many laps left and you might not make it if you have to be forced onto a medium per se quite early on. So it was always nice to have that fresh set of softs to jump on while you waited for a safety car, which is always a chance in a tier like this. We've got a good amount of drivers today, 19. I was a bit bummed out before the race because I was thinking we only have about 14, but everyone's turned up today and it's just really nice. We've got a few reserves, which is good to see, but hopefully we produce some good racing with Hungary. It might even be wet in the quali in race. I don't know, I haven't been told or anything. I'm not going to get told. I think it'd be better to just wait and see. I hope it's not wet because Hungary wet is going to be a long race and the overtaking will be nil. Well, there'll be a few overtakes based on driver error and people pushing around a bit more than others, but I don't think there'll be too much to shout about. So hopefully we do get a dry race and we can enjoy it. So Digweed on a lap now. He's jumped up into P4 just behind his teammate, which is decent for the Alpine boys. Digweed obviously fighting for the championship himself. It was nice to see him not getting caught up with the back runners at the moment. So he's in a good position to start with. Good banker as he comes round now. Should be improving. Looks like a decent lap from what we've seen so far, but he's coming into the pit, so this was an in lap. So never mind that. Draper still in P5, very good. Bailey on an outlap now, so we'll get on board with him when we can. We'll stick on board with him when he gets on his lap and see how he does. Reorder with a 3 minute lap here, absolutely bombing it on his outlap here. Let's see, is it an outlap or is he? Yeah, he was an outlap. So he's starting his lap now. So we'll stick with him now, and then by the time Riordan's finished, we can jump on with Bailey starting his lap. So that'll be nice and sweet. We can keep the track map as we get to see the lap data as well as we come round into the left-hander here, braking around the 65th, taking a nice tight apex, not touching the curb. You don't really want to. Quite a high one. Can really pull the aero from under your car. Really nice apex there, smooth on the exit curve, not jumping the rears at all. Nice apex there as well. Very smooth. Seems to be a decent lap so far. Carrying good speed there into 4th, shorting into 5th, which is not something you see a lot in the lower tiers. People taking the time to learn the short shifts around the certain corners that you need it. And it seems okay. He's gone a bit wide there, and it's messed up his entry into this corner, and he has gone wide, and he has gone off track there. So he's going to have to invalidate this lap or back off, otherwise it could be a punishment from stewards later on, because unfortunately we was on board with him. I will not I will let fate decide if he's going to get reported for that, see if any stewards are watching, because I'm gonna give him double jeopardy of me being the commentator and not put my 2 pence in. But he's going to come across the line and set it anyway. It was a crashed out car there. We've got an Aston Martin, we'll see to that in a minute. 3.5 tenths there for Riordan, so not bad at all. Bailey starting his lap, and we can jump back on that. And it was Ash JW crashing out there on the finishing straight, which is unfortunate for him. Both Aston Martin starting near the back today. Bailey's got a bit of traffic, and I think he's backed out. I don't know what the Ferrari's doing there. Ferrari needs to be out the way and pull to the side before he's really coming out of turn 4 there. You've got to be quite vigilant, because that has ruined a lap there. Although he didn't necessarily block him, it definitely looked like it could have been a block if he got any closer. I wonder if any reports or stewards' notes will be made about that also. But let's get all the times back up and see what's going on. Greek Bell. We won't get on with Greek Bell because he's 4.5 seconds up. Never mind. Indian G. We'll give Fandango a run. He's about to start his lap, so we'll sit on board with him for now. He's got a big gap to gain to get near Indian Jesus, so it'll be an interesting one to see how he does. 6-7 tenths pretty much from him to P1. He's only in P2, so it's not very often we see a massive gap like that, so hopefully he can cut it down. Coming to turn 1, braking just after the 100, trail braking around the apex. Nice and decent there, not too bad. It's coming up to the 50 now. Got to keep it nice and tight there as well. You can't really take it too wide. Decent, not extended as much as he could to carry a bit more speed, but he's doing alright, not taking any curb. Ooh, took a perfect amount of curb there, didn't invalidate. That was a really nice apex from the AlphaTauri driver. Short into 5th, like we saw with Riordan, got on McLaren there, off again, the same corners as it was earlier. I think that was due to a pass, but this time it was sorry for that, but still on board with the AlphaTauri of Fandango. It seemed while I was away, I was still watching the lap, and it looks all right, to be fair. Not taking the tightest of exits here, but it's not too bad, because if you do take it tight, you can lose the rear quite easily. Another car off there in a 1:16.5. So it does gain an advantage to the drivers behind, but not to Indian Jesus, as Indian Jesus is absolutely clear. He sets another faster lap, 1:15.6, so very good for him. And that is the end of quali. Wow, that is actually shot by. I didn't realise it was the end already. But Mazel's in P4 then for 1:16.7. Sorry if you're going to hear my little sister. She's going to bed. And I'm on my own, so I can't really pass the comms to anyone. So you're just going to have to hear in the background. That's Jay Millie. So sorry about that. But hopefully about 5-10 minutes she'll be faster, because she usually is. But we'll see what happens. Not too bad from quali. Everyone's doing alright. Greek Bill coming off a win, not having the best of qualies. We did see some invalidations from him. Jay Hartland in P11. Bazza not doing the greatest again. Just pretty mid in quali. I've never used that word in that in that tone, but oh, Fandango's got a 5-place grid penalty for blocking cars in AI. We saw this last week with Bailey. Bailey got a 5-place grid penalty because he blocked someone after they were in AI It's absolutely disgusting from the game, but there's nothing we can do about it. Same as we didn't for Bailey. So that's killer. Fandango is going to be starting P7, I think, which is awful. That's awful. That game needs to sort that out ASAP. But yeah, absolute steal from Indian Jesus though. No one anywhere near him on pace around Hungary. We'll see if it's the same in race. We have seen Indian Jesus to produce a few errors here and there, so maybe it might come down to an error on himself to cause himself to not win. But I'm not too sure if we'll see anyone challenging him on pure pace though. We'll have to wait and see. Like I just said about 2 seconds ago, find some more vocabulary, you melon. But yeah, apart from that, everyone pretty close. We take the end to 8 tenths away, then it's quite a close margin of between 7 tenths between the top 10, which is quite a margin, but it's not too bad. It's quite a long lap Hungary, so we'll see how it goes into the race. I'm going to take a second to have a drink because I haven't got the stamina in this. I got the stamina, but I ain't got the throat for it. Take that out of context if you want, but God, hopefully Scott's doing alright on his own and all today. He's got tier 4 on his own. I got tier 3. I thought he was lucky because he had a full grid, but we luckily managed to pull out a full grid as well, so I'm not too worried. Not feeling too bad for myself. But we'll see what happens. Oh, God. Give me a second. Oh, God. Could you imagine doing this for a 100% race? I'm bloody here moaning about 18 minutes of quali, and there's people that do bloody 100% races. It's hell. Respect. Big respect. Right, we just got to let everyone sort out their setups. Changing the last little things like the fuel, the wing, tyre pressures, and that'll be it. Dry start, very clear skies, so it's good for us. Good start, which means we should have a bit of racing with the high amounts of fuel in the car initially. Hopefully, it's dry in the end. I'll tell you what, a bit of a wet patch in the middle would be lovely. Seeing the changeable conditions, but we know that's not very often in a 50%er. So if it does rain at the end, hopefully it provides a little bit of fun. What is that? Look at that shadow going across the bloody the garages. What on earth is that? Oh, that's that's the shadow for the wire cameras. I was wondering what that was. I thought it was a glitch, but no, it's actually quite the opposite. Let's have a look in chat, see what's going on. Put it back up. Turn my volume off as well. Hello, good luck, says Dietmar Biegler. Good luck to you, mate. Liam in the chat saying Wagwan, Wagwan. Cole Paradox saying good luck, guys. Hello. I see you in chat. Indian Jesus with a goat emoji says Leon. Doesn't surprise me. He's absolutely stormed the field in quali. Hashtag Forza Cone, Dragon on Speed. I'll be honest. When Dragon on Speed gets onto YouTube and do a live chat, I don't even think he has to put a hashtag for autocorrect to come and tell him to put Forza Cone. I think he just types it out for him at this point. It's every week, and I love it. Thank you, mate. Give the stream a like. I've just liked it on the 4th. There's 11 of you in the chat, and there's only 4 likes, which is crap. It's outrageous. The league that gives you free racing, gives you entertainment, and you haven't even given it a like. Christ. Come on. Stop being stingy. And if you haven't got a YouTube account, what's going on with you? Bloody... Get back on MySpace, you bloody dinosaur. Oh, we should be good. MySpace was brilliant. I never really used MySpace. Bit before my time. But I know there'll be some of you dinosaurs in chat that have. What is taking so bloody long? Christ, are they filling the tanks like on the go or what? Come on now, get on with it. Waiting for players. So some people we're still waiting on to select their compounds, their fuel, and their wing angles, and they need to sort it out because this is taking the mick. We got a formation up as well. Right, here we go. We've got the timer, so game's had enough. Thought, do you know what? Let's get on with this. And fair enough. I'm never too sure if you can hear my sister in the background. I might have to... Give me a sec. I'm just going to mute my mic and see if you can hear her. Now, surprisingly, you can't, which astonishes me because she's so loud. But anyways, finally, we can get onto it. Mazzles did disconnect. I hope he can get back in the car. He did join back, but hopefully he can get back in the car for the restart. But the thing is, because the game is so crap, he can't get into the car now until after the lights are out. So he's going to have, like, what, 70-degree tyres? Because the eye ain't going to heat him up for him. And I certainly can't, so it's really unlucky for him. Starting in P2, he's going to have to try his hardest to get around those first few corners with cold tyres. Turn 4 is going to be treacherous for the driver, but we'll see what happens. Baz are promoted up into P5, same with Digweed, Deluxey, and Mazzles all jump in at one spot with Fandango taking the unfortunate 5-place grid penalty. Because the game is crap, strike. We said that 3 times in about the space of 2 minutes, so really says it all, doesn't it? But apart from that, we should be good. Right, surely you can hear my sister now. If not, then respect to blue microphones, because you should be able to hear her, because she's loud as hell. And I've told her to be quiet, because I said I was going to be doing this. Look, if you want to say goodnight now, because I'm going to be doing this, and I need you to be quiet. She's like, okay. Yeah, I'll be quiet for you, Josh. Bollocks, sorry. But she hasn't been, and it's alright though. She's 7, so what am I going to do? Anyways, I don't know what I'm offering about. Sorry, boys and girls. Formation laps are dead, aren't they? But I do like them though, because I can do my little spins that I practice. I don't know if you saw Tier 1 last week, but I did one of my spins and it got caught on stream, and it looks sweet as hell and all, sweeter than that. Nearly a bit of a spin from bunnies there. But everyone's starting to foam up onto the grid now. Nice little bits of back. Oh, listen to that audio glitch. It's how disgusting that is. Why is the audio chopping? It shouldn't. It should be clear. Drake has been disqualified because he can't line up to a grid. Shitter boy. But P6 though, very good starting point for him. Not usually up that high, so we'll see how he does. Harry Palmer disqualified as well. Didn't have a great qualifying either. Usually he's quite a bit higher than that. But P16 for him. But I think we're about to go. What's going on with this? Right, we're about to go awful camera angle, so we'll stick like this. Lights are out. Indian just gets away, but the Alpine gets a better go. We'll have a look at the tyre compounds in a minute, but look at that Alpine. The Alpine P3 of Digweed. And look at Bailey on softs. Why is he on softs? He's absolutely sent it. And he spun it off carnage. Oh my god, what on earth has happened behind us? Oh my god, what on earth's going on? Oh my god. Why have people started on softs? What on earth has happened there? So much carnage, but there's not a safety car, so I've stopped spectating, thinking I've got a second to breathe, thinking of the safety car, but there's not. India just gets away. I don't know if any of them have got damage in the front lot. India just looks like he doesn't. They all look like they're pretty clean. But what on earth was that there? Bailey absolutely sent it into turn 1 on the soft. It looked okay. I don't know what happened to the Alpine behind him, but yeah, he lost it on the exit himself. Just lost the reeds and absolutely slammed. Got slammed by someone in his side pod. So see what happens. What on earth is he doing? RPME taking a massive slide at the grass there. Don't know if he was defending like a lion, but why is Digweed going so slow? I'm not too sure, but Gautier fell on into the pits. I have no clue why people started on softs. That boggles me. Absolutely boggles me for Hungary. I know there's a high percentage chance of there being a safety car early on, but still, you've got 2 sets of mediums, use them. But, wow. Yeah, Indian G is P1 still. Riordan doing pretty well to hold the gap, both on mediums. So they should be pulling away from the guys behind who are on hard, which they are. So it doesn't really surprise me. Victor Mean being the front runner of them lot. Fandango, then Guy Draper in P4 and 5. Doing very well at the moment. He's got a Ferrari. Ooh! And that's an Aston Martin off. It is Ash J. He seems to be getting going, so just a spin for him outside of turn 4. Harry Palmer, Jesus Christ. He's gone from P16 to P6 within a lap. It's pretty immense. Pretty good start for him. My headset's beeping, so in a short moment. I have to put them on charge, but hopefully we can get a safety car by the time that happens, and I'll have a smooth segue into doing that. But for now we're okay. We can hear what's going on. Really interesting, yeah. Awful start for some drivers, great start for others, but gaps are starting to balance out now. I think we've got some delta issues, glitches at the moment. So I don't think someone's a minute and 23 ahead of Indian G's at the moment. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, some people are getting a bit of a slide out of turn one. It's quite a tricky corner. You've got to get the power down fast. And when that DRS is opened, it's such an early DRS point. You open it as you're still trying to find grip in the car. So definitely a track where we're going to see, definitely a corner where we could see a few mistakes and overtakes. That rhymed. Stating the obvious, but it did. Yeah, just basic Hungary now at this point. Just gaps getting bigger and bigger, and trains getting bigger and bigger also. Jay Hartnell pretty close to Harry Palmer on the medium, so Harry Palmer needs to catch a bit more pace. Has he got damage? Because he's gone wide a bit there, taking a really slow exit, and he's making the hards look soft. He's making the hards look quick. So not too sure what's going on there for Harry Palmer. Let's see if no damage to his left end plate of his wing, but nothing. Ooh, and we've got an AlphaTauri there. That is Draper, and he's already spun, unfortunately, after such a good start. But he's not come out in a bad place, but he's come out in a lot of pressure, though. He's got so many cars behind him on nicer tyres after cooking his for a spin. Ooh, we got Jay Hartnell going up the inside here of Harry Palmer. Can't quite get the move, but he's still on the outside looking to make it into the next corner, and they go side by side. A bit of a push, bit of argy-bargy from Harry Palmer, pushing him out wide, and Jay Hartnell cuts across. Ooh, nearly taking out Bunnies there as he gets an awful exit out of turn 3, leaving oh, good save from Bunnies there, almost taking himself out of the race. Never mind Jay Hartnell. We've got Polish man taking a dive coming out of turn 4 as well. Not the first to do so this week. Indian G is pulling a mighty gap now already, even against Riordan, who is on the same tyres. We've got a car off. It's Polish man again. No, sorry, Trunder's off again, just ahead of him this time though. Yeah, it's such a nasty track for cooking the rears, and if you do cook the rears, it's very hard to pull them back down a few attempts without having to slow down drastically. So you've really got to be nailed on from the beginning to make sure you're consistent throughout the whole race. Harry Palmer and Jay Hartnell having a bit of a scrap here, side by side, as they go into turn 1. Let's see what they do. Let's get the tyre graphic off. We don't need that at the moment. And Jay Hartnell looks to be making the move this time. He's going to have the DRS. It's a double detection zone. Can he get ahead? He's got ahead into the corner. Is he going to stay ahead? He is. He's a full car's length. Oh, Harry Palmer sends it a bit, and he's doing very well. Wrong car there. He's doing very well to stick it to his side. He is on the medium tyre, so he's got a lot more exit grip, a lot more lateral grip as well in the faster corners. You can see derating already from Jay Hartnell, not for Harry Palmer. I say not for Harry Palmer, but he is literally on 11%, so he's 1% off of being at equal terms with the Red Bull. Bunny's sitting behind now on a nice battery, 60%. So Bunny's in the best position out of the three because he's on 60% and he's on the harder compound, so he's really pushing to get these two in the long run. He's looking like he's going to have to get the medium runner of Harry Palmer pretty soon, because otherwise Jay Hartnell's going to gap him a bit. But he has got that reserve battery to get past here and then to gain that gap back. Oh no! And we've got Victor Mean off as well. Victor Mean taking a spin, and that's going to leave Jay Hartnell just behind him. Is he going to get DRS from it? He's not. He's not going to get that lucky, but he's going to be lucky to see an Alfa Romeo just ahead with pretty hot tyres now for him to chase, while Bunnies has got past the other Ferrari-powered car, the Ferrari. Oh no! Fandango spun as well. 4 of our top runners taking a spin on their own errors now, so very tricky for the drivers ahead. That's a lot of people spinning and a lot of errors and a lot of repercussions for the drivers, taking a lot of positions lost. But at the moment, gaps are seeming to level out as people are taking spins. We've got Deluxey and Polishman battling. Let's see if we can jump to them. Quite a good corner for battling here. I've had my fair share of side-by-side moments through this corner. It's a nice one to do it because of how low speed it is. It's a lot easier to go side-by-side, but it is a fast exiting corner, so you've got to be really careful of where you're putting your car, because all it takes is one tap in a high speed to throw the car off the track. Deluxey being the first of many, I expect, with the way I've been seeing the driving going. First of many to get a penalty today, and Draper spun again. He's gone from hero to zero. Draper gone down to P13 from P6, which is unfortunate for him. And just like I said, first of many, Mazel's getting a second pen, also in P8, which is not going to be good for him. Fandango sticking to the back of Harry Palmer. Obviously, we saw Harry Palmer was not doing very well on the medium compounds anyways. We've got... Is that Victor Mean off as well? No, it's not, sorry. It's Draper taking another spin, so he's gone from bad to worse. Unfortunately for him, I think I can understand. It's a tricky track. He's done well in qualifying, so he's put a bit of pressure on him. And big moment there for Victor Mean, having to take the run off of the curb there, maybe grasping a warning because of it. And Jay Hartnell taking a weird line there. Don't know why he's doing that. Ash J is retired on track. That might leave us with a safety car, and it does. Full safety car has been awarded to the drivers. Well, awarded to the drivers who will need it. But for the ones who don't, like Indian Jesus and Riordan, can be quite frustrating, as it is a good time. I say good time. Is it a good time for the medium racing on the hards? 7 laps in 35 is still quite early. But the thing is, if they go on to hards now, they've got that second set of mediums as a reserve plan. So it's not the worst of things. Jerry is not going to be too fussed about the safety car because it does pull him back into Indian Jesus on a level playing field, which will be nice for him. Hopefully he can stick with him a bit better than he did initially. Victor Bean gets to stay out and jump 2 places and lead the safety car restart as he is on hards. So we'll see how they do. I don't know how well those hards can last. I'm not too sure that they can go that far, you know. I'm really not too sure if they can. I don't think they will. I think they will have to need a stop. Or if they don't, they're going to be very close to puncture. Because I think you need to do at least 12, maybe 12, 13 laps on their mediums to warrant the hards being nice all the way. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, everyone at the back who was having a spinning record sort of day gets a second chance at redemption, as we do have a full safety car, so that does mean all the cars will be pulled together into one queue. I would say lap cars can overtake, but this game doesn't have that functionality yet, which is quite abysmal considering how far down the line of next gen consoles we are. But yeah, Draper getting to pit and trying to make the most of what has been a bad situation so far. I think, to be honest, he's just looking forward to getting back on FIFA to opening his guaranteed icon pack, which I'm sure he's always thinking about right now in a party with Hedge and Chimp. But we'll see what happens. Trunders in P16 not having the greatest of starts. Didn't have a chance to qualify, as he did have a qualifying ban, but gained a few positions, although it might be minimal. Sorry, and not in the points. It's still a good start to be had. Got your fill on into P14. Let's have a look at the position changes and stop my my guessing game. Wow, a lot of people taking good wins at the moment. Bunny's 13 wins, well, 13 positions gains, which is the biggest win of the lot of them so far. Jay Hartnell jumping 9. Victor Mean in second with the most amount of overtakes so far with 11. And then just behind his RPM Eek. Biggest loser so far, unfortunately, is Deluxey and Draper. Deluxey with most, dropped 14 positions so far, down to P17, which is quite big. Deluxey, very quick driver. We've seen him go against race winners and race winning himself, I believe. But yeah, Draper also losing 12 positions. Digweed not on a great start either. He's down 11 places as well from P4. But everyone's catching, so we get a chance now to just have a breather. Bailey in P11 after his horrid mistake in the turn 1 off the start, causing a bit of damage to other drivers. We'll see what the stewards take of that. And my headphones have just died, so this is perfect timing. I did say it, didn't I? I did say we'd need a chance to get them on charge, so let me grab my wire, chuck it into the outlet that's right next to me, and then we'll be alright to carry on. God. I bloody hate having to charge things, you know. When are we going to build something that like doesn't need charging, like solar panel headsets? It'd be quite hard because I use my headset in my bedroom and not like, you know, gazebo outside, but it'd be a nice thought. There we go, back on light. Pelly for Draper, what's he doing? How have you oh, Draper, mate, Draper. How on earth have you spun under a safety car? Come on now. And he's absolutely got none of the rear backing him up. He's completely cooked the rears by the look of it, and he cannot go anywhere. I say cooked, he's probably just come out the pits on them, so they're either ice cold or they're fiery hot, which is not where you want them at all. You want them right in the middle of them. Ideally a bit warmer than cold, but very early safety car coming in message. I say early, we've only got 2-3 corners left for it to come in. But Victamine, as we said, will hold the pace. And oh my god, my charge keeps falling out of my headset. Has he gone already? No, he can't have gone already. No, he can't. Gotta wait for that notification to pop up. And he has gone now, and it's got a good little restart. Jay Hartnell just behind. Oh, look at this. Bunny's right on the back of Indian Jesus. Is anything going on behind also? We will see. But Bunny's not looking to get enough to push up against him. And get side by side. Everyone else seems to be coming around at a single file order. We've got Hash trying to look around the outside of Mazzles. He's looking to do so. Ooh, Richie, Polish man, diving up the inside of Richie there. Taking the position as well. Having to slow down Greek Girl there. Looking like he had to avoid some sort of close collision. We've got people getting close now at the front. We've got Bunnies on the same tyres as Indian Jesus. That was hard to say for a second. But the thing is, with the hard runners, they've not had long at all to heat up the tyres. So anyone on mediums will be thriving a bit for now. But at the moment, all the top guys are on hard. So everyone's have the same ideology, apart from a few like Gotia Felon and Trunders. They've had the same ideology of getting those hards to the end, but I'm not too sure how that'll play out. We'll see. I do think we'll end up having another safety car at some point, especially if Draper's going to be spinning like that for the rest of the race. I think there's a good chance of someone coming off at the back of the train, and everyone's still quite tight at the moment, so plenty of chances for overtakes and mistakes. See what happens. Bailey back up into P9, so he's pulling it back a bit after making those mistakes early on. Got yellow flags as well. Draper, like I said, yeah, spinning again. It's not been great for him. Not been great at all. We'll see what he does. He's going to be quite far off the back. He's not in a position where he should retire yet. He's still within the limits of a safety car, pulling him back into the mixture. But yeah, if it does get any worse than this, and he does get lapped, it will be a very hard task to feat. Yellows, we've got yellows, and that is Gautier Felon. Like I said, room for mistakes and overtakes on this side of the stick is a mistake from Gautier Felon, or maybe even a collision. We'll have to wait and see what stewards say, but for now, he is going to have to fall to the back of the grid with the other Ferrari-powered car. Victorine holding well. Indian Jesus not doing as much as I thought he would. I thought he would have pushed ahead a bit more, and then Draper spun again. Hopefully not into a wall. And if he is going to be spinning like this, he needs to pit and get a fresh set of tyres on to reset his temperatures, or we just need to retire. And wow, speaking of reset, oh wow, we've had a spin for P1 there. Victorine taking a dive in the last corner, just not having the car sit around for him pretty much, and Draper's crashed out on track. Is that going to cause a safety car? I hope not. I really hope not. It'd be a bit unnecessary. Bunnies and Jay Hartnell going side by side. Bunnies getting the P2. Indian Jesus has gone to P1 after that spin and taking a moment to overtake the cars ahead in the mixture of the mess. But yeah, no safety car, which I'm very glad for us from Draper's incident, which is brilliant. We were lucky he was and Victor Means retired. That might pull one out. Hopefully not. Oh, well, when it does. Both Alfa Romeos having an absolute stinker on lap 12 and lap 11. That's really annoying. I say it's annoying. I'm bloody itching to get my icon pack sorted out and all, so. But I am looking forward to seeing a bit better racing now after this this restart. We've got everyone on hards. This will make it easy to make them to the end. But if anyone did stay out of mediums up until now, like Trunders, I think is the only one. If Trunders goes in for hards, he's in a good position because he's going to have everyone ahead. Still, it's going to be a big task to defeat, like I said. But if he goes in for hards now, fresh hards, he's looking very good because everyone's going to be a few laps older on their tyres, and that can make the most of the difference. You think about it, you think only 1 lap difference isn't much, and it's not. When you think about it, as in a 5-lapper, if someone's got a lap old tyres in a 5-lapper, you wouldn't really notice the difference because you don't reach the drop off there unless it's like a really tricky track like Hungary, where the temperatures are quite high, and under 5 laps you can make them soft die pretty quickly. But if you're doing it in a long stint, you're doing 35 laps, you're doing 21 safe now on them hards, you're stretching out the possibility of those tyres dropping off a cliff. What is going on? Why is Harry Palmer in a wall? And why is someone off on track? Harry Palmer and Mazel seem to have had a collision under safety car. I'm absolutely baffled to how that can happen. You're not in a racing period. Your head's screwed on and you're chilling out and you're just making sure the tyres are heated and you're staying away from anyone behind and ahead of you. I don't know what's gone on there, but we're waiting to see in stewards, and now people are waiting. Yeah, 5-second penalty for corner cutting, and now Harry Palmer's probably going to get a message saying he needs to give the position back. I don't know what's going on here, but anyways, Trunders, as I was saying, if you stretch it over a good amount of laps, the difference is massive. 1 lap, 2 lap. We see it so many times in Tier 1, mostly because that's where the least safety cars really happen, and you get to see the long stints play out more. You can tell because the drop off is usually quite numerical with the laps. So it'll usually be a specific lap, and you'll see a massive drop off because it's not like real life in the game. It's not gradually chipping away at the rubber. Literally, on the game it's code. There's certain amount. I believe on this game it is 12 steps of degradation. So there'll be 12 types of degradation from the start of your stint to the end of your stint, and last year it was only 4, so you'd feel that drop off a lot more. But nowadays it can be a bit more gradual, but it is still a game at the end of the day, and it does take to that certain point or percentage, and then you will feel a drop off. So that few little laps at the end will be crucial. We'll see what happens, because I think some of the hard runners here could be in punchy territory if there's no safety cars left, and I don't think Trundles will have to worry about that having been pitted 4 or 5 laps later. So we'll see what happens. There's enough about tyres for now. We usually get on a rant about certain types of physics in the game, which is quite nice. I do like to sit back and be the second commentator, because I do like to just be a nerd and talk about the insider stuff, and then let the likes of Scott carry on with this sort of stuff, because they're a lot better. This is the nicest way possible. Scott is a lot better at running his mouth than I am, I think. And that is in the best way possible. Love you, Scott. But yeah, I do like to take the second seat and just chill out. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that this season, mostly on my own. We've not got the second comms that we've wanted, but we're okay. We're soldiering on, just like these drivers are, as they're waiting to get racing again. And speaking of getting racing again, we're about to get racing again. So see how we do. Energy is leading again. So again and again and again. I've said again about 16 times in the past minute, and I won't say it again, I promise. I just did, but right, safety car restart again. Indian Jesus, he was gapping quite a bit when he was ahead on similar compounds to the other drivers. So hopefully for him, he will be able to pull away like he did in the first stint. But it wasn't Jay Hartnell behind him last time, it was Riordan. And I believe he's gone. He has a very gradual getaway. It's not usually what you see. Usually you see drivers taking a slow start and then just slamming the throttle down. And look at the movement from Riordan, absolutely sending it up the inside there. And he's made it stick as well. Absolutely brilliant move from the AlphaTauri. But the switch back, Jay Hartnell's got the inside line for the left-hander of turn 2. Getting very close to the rear, but the AlphaTauri stays ahead for now. Decent little bit of battle in there. But like I did say, Indian Jesus has gapped them already, which is Fandango's dead. Oh no, Fandango's dead. Shouldn't put out a safety car because we've just only finished one. Fandango's dead and Digweed's off. Oh god. The veterans are taking an absolute hit today. Bloody hell. Awful start for the two, but we move. Indian Jesus about a second clear of the competition now. Basil Fox jumping into P4 after seeing the carnage ahead of him, which is good for him. Getting behind his teammate usually is battling with his teammate quite a bit to make the move, but I think if there is a big difference in pace between the two... Oh no! Indian Jesus has made a mistake and he's off. Has he got damage? He hasn't... Oh, there's a lag in Hasted. Bloody hell. He hasn't got damage, but that is a massive mistake from the Mercedes German driver. Wow. We said it. We said it in quali. I didn't think it was going to be pure pace that would beat Indian Jesus today. I said I think it would be a mistake of his own. And it has been. Look at this. What on earth? 3 wide. Nearly 4. They've kept it clean. Almost Harry Palmer taking a penalty going wide. Getting pushed a little bit by the Mercedes driver. Absolute scenes there at the back. Bazza up into P2. Riordan into P1 with a clear gap for now. This is absolutely intense. Look at the battle in here. Oh, and the Alpha. Oh, not an Alpha. It's a bloody Aston Martin who's been spun off. And unfortunately, Trunder's the one who gave us the chance to give a lesson on degradation earlier. But very unfortunate for him. God, my throat is dry. Just say that. Let's just leave it at that. Basil Fox P2, Jay Hartnell. He did get past, as I did. What I was about to say before Indy jumped off was usually with the Red Bulls we do see the difference in pace, and they are quite fair about it. They usually let each other through if the difference is massive. So no, which is quite the opposite to what we've seen in real life at the moment, isn't it? I mean, I don't know whose side you lot are on. I got a yellow flag there in the first sector. Just a spin, I believe, but I don't know what side you were on with the Red Bull saga, but it didn't look good from Max's side yesterday, did it? Not letting Checo through after everything Checo's done for him, and we've got Harry Palmer in the pits now as well after taking a penalty and maybe some damage as well. But yeah, I'll be honest with that whole Red Bull saga. Oh, we've got Harry Palmer's retired. Interesting. RPM Eek off into the grass there, coming out of turn 1. Very interesting. It's quite late after the turn 1 exit, so it makes me think that there was contact. Because if you are spinning there, you've gone quite far out the exit before spinning. Oh, and we've got another yellows. Digweed spun again. Don't pull out a safety car because people are coming. He's going to have to let everyone through now because everyone's so close together. He's going to have to force himself to get lapped because of his mistake. Not because of his mistake, because he did get... he's got a 10-second penalty as well. This will definitely be a retirement on this lap, I think, for him, unfortunately. He's doing the right thing, though, staying off track and letting everyone through. What is this game, man? He's literally letting everyone through safely, and he gets 20 bloody seconds of penalties. It's an absolute farce, honestly, the AI on this game, or whatever they've put into the code. Anyway, past that, because my throat's already hurting. Riordan, Basil Fox, and Jay Hartnell sitting in podiums. I was going to say pretty safe, but Jay Hartnell's very close to getting pressured by the likes of Polish Man and Richie, and also even Bunnies. Bunnies was doing pretty well initially. We'll see what happens. Quick Bill jumping up from P10 to P7, not too bad for himself. Deluxey, after getting a penalty, is in P8, and we've got a retirement from Digweed. Doesn't surprise me at all. Very, very unfortunate race for him. Did look to be a decent one at the start, but just didn't flourish into that towards the second stints. Trunders, which was looking so good with a fresh set of tyres, is not now quite far off the track. Quite far off the pace, sorry. He's quite clearly on the track if I just look at the screen, not the deltas, but yeah, interesting. Polish Man still sticking with Jay Hartnell. Jay Hartnell been gapped now by P1 and P2. quite the margin, similar margins actually as Riordan and Bailey Fox. Looks like it's going to be a battle between these two, I think. We look at the batteries, and Bailey's on about 25%, and Riordan's doing very, very well. It's on about 50%. But it is all a matter of if these tyres do last, and if we do get a safety car again. We've only had 2, but the chances are we are going to get a few more. And we just had someone join the party. Probably not the most fortunate driver today, taking about more spins than Swan Lake. But how are you, Draper?
I'm not too bad, mate. I just want to check. I don't know if my voice is sharing, so I need to just check the
If you want to get on the stream and check while I'm having a look through the race. But I'll tell you what, it's a blessing to have someone else here, because my voice is absolutely going. Indian is taking a position into P8 now, after unfortunately spinning off not too long ago on the hard tyres. But he's still got pressure from behind. I see pressure. He's just overtaking them, so I'm sure he will end up gapping them, showing his pure pace comparison to the rest of the grid today. But unfortunately, pace isn't the only thing that can help you win races. It's consistency and being smart about how much you're putting down the throttle. Unfortunately, it didn't seem like it went that way for him, as he did take a dive not so long ago, as we have just said. But yeah, Basil Fox getting gapped a bit by Riordan, so Riordan's really pushing his tyres, and he's looking good for the win. But I am very interested into seeing how the tyres do face, because they did pit quite early. It pitted lap 7 to the hards, and I mean 28 laps? It's a long time even for the harder compound, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, these two in a league of their own at the moment. Polish Man even getting pushed out of DRS by Jay Hartnett, which surprises me. I thought Polish Man would give him a bit more of a battle. He's back in. He's had to use a bit of battery, and if we look at the battery, they're both pretty similar and both pretty
We've had a move down the backfield. Bill's got past Bunnies down the DRS. My voice is working, so it won't look like you're talking to a ghost anymore.
Yeah.
But yes, Bunny on those fresher medium tyres is a bit of a surprise. He's been overtaken by Bill there, but he'll be making his way now, trying to get back up the field. Closing in on Richie as well, and watch that battle, because Richie out of DRS between Polish Man and Jay Hartnell, so that could be interesting there.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Obviously, we've got the few at the front gapping each other by quite a bit, so this is going to be the battle for positions at the moment. Initially, we're going to have to wait and see how the top 3, how it ends up later in the race, because at the moment that is going to be quite a stagnant battle to watch. But for now, we've still got, like you said, we've got Bunnies, Indian G's and RPM Richie all in this little queue, with Greek Bill sat in the middle in P6. It should be good. We'll have to see what happens. Indian G's, after his mistake, is definitely going to be looking to make a few positions up after his mistake. He's doing well.
I heard you mention. Yes, I heard you mention about pitting on lap. Was it 7 or 8? I think the early medium runners pitted, and Mazels gets a 5-second penalty there, as he's gone into the box. Not been good for him today. I saw him get taken out the first corner. It was very unfortunate. Not sure what happened there, but the championship battle was taking a bit of a hit there.
Yeah, he has just retired in pits, like a few today. We've had Mazels, Harry Palmer, Digweed all retire on their own accord after facing some annoyances on track. But at the moment,
yeah, there would have been another one in me, but unfortunately I lost the car as I was on my way back to the pit lane.
I know, so, lucky you didn't pull out a safety car.
Yeah.
Luckily no one was around to be involved with it and get in the way. But
yeah, Hungary is not a track you want to have rear wing damage. I can tell you that now.
Oh, is that what it was? Was it?
Yeah, I had Mark on the radio. You're going to experience some heavy oversteer. 3 times I tried to make it through turn 4 up the hill, and 3 times I spun, even in the safety car period. So it was not fun.
Oh, Indian G is trying to go for a move there. Sorry to interrupt. It's gone very
around the outside of Bunnies. Oh, Deluxe as well. 2 for 1. This is surprising me here, because I know Indian G's and Deluxe are very quick, but Bunnies is on the faster tyre, and they're also 5 laps fresher. So it's going to be a DRS for Deluxe as well. Indian G's is the one to miss out there.
Yeah, Indian G's did make the move initially on the right-hander, taking quite an aggressive dive, getting very close to Deluxe to the back of Indian Jesus, but yeah, he made it on the inside and then took it around the outside for the left-hander, turn 15, I believe, and it was very close there. But Deluxe managing to get the advantage, while Bunnies was getting pushed up on and takes P8. Richie seemingly holding a decent chunk of time at the moment. He's derating, similar to most drivers around him. We've got Greek Bill, who's holding a bit more battery than him. He's close behind, and he's got yellows there.
Yellow flags in sector 1.
I believe it is for
That's
RPM
Eek.
Yeah, not too much to worry about. Only a spinner, so he won't have any risk of a safety car unless he has punctured or lost all of his wing. But we seem to be okay. Go your fill on just off the back now of this battle, looking at.
Oh, Richie's made a move. Polish man spun.
Spun as well.
He's round.
Very unfortunate for him. That puts everyone up one spot. Who is behind, and it does give a bit of a breather to the car that he was following as well, which would have been Richie Jay Hartnell. So Jay Hartnell
he was actually chasing Jay Hartnell. So it was in that sort of battle for the final podiums. Polish man was in DRS with Jay, dragging along Richie in this whole group. Now as you can see, the interval was about 1.5 seconds. So Jay, as you said, very relieved on pressure, but look at the tyre lap difference, 22 for Jay and 15 for Richie.
Deluxey taking a spin as well, so everyone jumping up a few positions once again. In Jesus getting a good recovery job now back into P6. Bunny's following along in P7. I say following along, he's quite gapped now compared to his Mercedes compadre. But P5 for Greek Bill, P4 for Richie, rounding up the top 5 at the moment. Looking to get a push onto P4 is Greek Bill. RPM Richie is in clean air at the moment. I say clean air, he's got a car just a bit ahead, but he's not got enough of the advantage to take DRS. We've got yellows for Deluxey once again. But Greek Bill on the back of him, he might not have free air, but he does want to get past this Mercedes because he's got another one behind him trying to take advantage of him being so close. So Greek Bill really needs to push now and take advantage of the DRS stricken car ahead to try and gap away from the clearly faster Indian Jesus. So he's going to need to push now because Indian Jesus, even in these last few corners, has gained an immense amount of time. And look how close he is to the rear already onto the straight. And he might even make the move if he's got the ERS to do it.
Jay's in the box. Here we go then. That's mediums to the end, I think. It is indeed 15 laps roughly the average tyre life of these mediums, and with 11 to go, you can certainly push those and try and get there. But the gap's going to be key here. How far is he from Gaultier and then Bunny as well? Because there's that extra 2-second buffer to that whole last podium position. And 9th place just behind Trunders, but he's 15 seconds off that Gaultier fell-on battle with Bunnies, as Deluxe is also into the pits.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that people are coming into the pits off them hards. I don't think they was going to last from lap 7, even with the advantage of having that safety car to cool them down for a few laps. But with Hungary, the safety cars haven't stayed out for much time at all. They came in on the next lap that they were called out. So. Not too...
Ooh, Indian Jesus running wide there.
I was watching that. He seems to stay wide, maybe hoping to avoid...
Yellow flags, that's Gaultier. I just said about how he's being chased coming into sector 3. So Bunnies has got a little bit of a respite there.
Oh, Indian Jesus really pushing the back of Greek Bill now. Greek Bill being pushed out of DRS by the Mercedes driver ahead, leaving him in the jaws of the one behind. He's surely Indian Jesus sends it here on the fresher tyres. He does.
Ooh, that's a tight dive down the inside.
Very good one, very controlled dive, which is nice to see. Showing his class there, Indian Jesus there, very good. Nice move, gives him a chance to push up to his teammates. Teammates derating. Let's have a look at the telemetry, and so is Indian Jesus, but he has got that pace advantage from the very beginning. He just needs to try not to make another mistake on these hards. Oh no! Okay, never mind, it's a lap car. Thought we had an incident there. I thought Bailey had bottled the podium, but no, he seems to be running well. Although he is 3.5 seconds now, so the gap from him to P1 has jumped by over 2 seconds. So doesn't look like he's going to be pushing for the win at any point now, unless another safety car does come out to force everyone onto the softs. Yellow flags there. I think it's just for
how many safety cars have we had today?
We've had two at the moment.
So there is still one more.
Definitely room for
here we go then. Look at that. He's already pulled away from Bill. Sorry to talk over. He's already pulled away from Bill, and probably will have Richie here on this straight, his teammate. I wonder if there's any going to let him through, or if he's going to make him work for it. Although here at Hungary,
I think he's not going to have to let him. I think the DRS will do it for him. I think physics will make the choice for the teammates there. As you can see, the absolute speed difference, having that wing open and just letting the air swoop through that rear wing rather than get hit by it. Into P3 goes in India's great recovery drive, and he's got the laps to. He's got a good amount of laps to come back into Bailey. He's dropping the gap quite sufficiently. Yellow flags there. He's coming onto the track and not crashed out, so we won't see a safety car for that. Thankfully, we've got yellows for lap cars letting others through, which is good to see. All done pretty swiftly and safely. Indians can pull the gap back to Bailey, but it's going to be. It's not hard to catch up, but it's hard to overtake. And as soon as he can catch up, he's gonna use a lot of them tyres to do so. He's gonna have to be pushing them a lot harder than Bailey had. They're both on the same life tyre, so he will be taking the lower ground when it comes to tyre life if he does catch up, and that is a big if because he's still got a lot of time to chop down. He's chopped down 4/10 already though, down to 3.3 second difference to Bailey. So it really isn't bad. I know he's hoping to pull his teammate around for the constructor points, but I'm not too sure if Richie can handle that pace at the moment.
He's already out there. Out, but
he's got DRS. He's luckily got it just before the detection. So he will get pulled back in, but I think after this first sector, he will be pushed back out again, and it will be Indian Jesus on his own. Indian Jesus spun it. Oh my god.
Oh, is he? He's gone.
It's what I said. It's what I said in quali. I said Draper. I said to the audience that I didn't think anyone was going to be on Indian Jesus' pace today. I really didn't, and I've been proven right by that by qualifying and by his pure pace. But
when I saw those times,
what I did say in qualifying was if there's anyone that's going to stop Indian Jesus, it'll be himself, and it'll be by driver error. And he's had 2 of them today, and they've made massive impacts on his race. So it's not been a great considering. Considering he's been up into P1 and into the podiums twice on 2 separate occasions, to say it's been a bad day at the office just shows the level that Indian Jesus is at compared to some of the other drivers in this tier. So he's done well, but it's still a very bad day for him when it comes to points. He's lucky that drivers like Digweed have had unfortunate luck that was not down to the driver error as well, to not ruin the chance of the championship. We've got a Haas at the back there. Deluxe car. Okay. Oh my god, I thought Bill had spun, but it was bloody
Polish man. And Eek both spinning simultaneously there at different parts of the track. I'm just, I know you were talking about it earlier. I'm just looking at Jerry's gap to Bailey, and it's starting to come into fruition now. Here, 7 laps to go. He's got 6 laps fresher tyres, 5.5 seconds. I think Bailey's going to have to pit here. And I don't think that Richie and Bill will. That's the problem that Bailey's going to have.
Well, if Bailey's going to have to pit, so is Jerry.
Oh, it's a Haas in front of him.
If Bailey's going to have to pit, so is Jerry. Because if you look at the tyres on stream or for you in game as you're still in, Jerry and Bailey's tyres, you can see on the outside of the tyre wall, you can see the lighter shade of grey on the tyres.
The degradation is hitting. It's hitting very hard.
That's because they're leaning on the tyres so much that they're wearing away at the ends of it. And if that does get too much, it can be close to puncture. But yeah, you say Bailey might need to pit. That means, oh no, Riordan's got 6 lap pressure. Sorry. That's
what I'm saying. I've got the tyre. 20 plays 26th. So if these 7 laps to the end, even if Jerry's on maybe 70% tyres, yes, he's going to be risking a puncture, but it's still going to be 7 laps fewer than Bailey. And I'm sitting there thinking that if you're Richie as well and Bill, who have got 6 laps respectively, both of them are 6 laps younger, they could be on for podiums here. I mean, Bunnies has surprisingly dropped off with the fresher tyres as Jesus is making a move down into turn 1.
You say surprisingly, but 16 laps on the mediums is quite the feat. We see Riordan getting degradation on 21 laps on hards, so taking them mediums 16 laps is quite the feat itself. He's got a lot of degradation on the front right there. You can see with the bubbling, which is coming into view, especially in the slower corners. You can see it as the RPMs of the cars do slow down. But yeah, Indian Jesus back into P5. Hopefully he doesn't make another mistake. He's gone wide there, so he would have picked up another warning, so he's going to have to be very careful, because it's going to cost him if he does end up catching the drivers up ahead again. Pretty much down to 5 laps now. I think Bailey's, it's going to be risky. It'll be a hell of a drive if you can get them tyres to the end.
average tyre spell. It was basing it obviously on in game. It said 20 laps on the harder compound tyre. Now that's not with a lot of degradation. That's with moderate degradation, shall we say. Sort of taking them to about maybe 20, 25 laps into the race, and then obviously going on to the mediums for the rest of the race, or vice versa, switching at lap 15 for the last 20. So there is obviously, like we've been saying, that bit to play with, but it does look eerie. I'd be worried if I was Bailey and sitting in that cockpit right now. Richie's catching as well. He's pulled a second in. He wheeled him in by a second over that last lap alone.
I know Bailey. Yeah. He'll be sitting at that party thinking about CRC3 Britain. He had a similar issue where he had to take the hards a long way in Silverstone, and he compared himself to the likes of Lewis Hamilton in real life, where he got those that puncture across the line. And he did actually end up getting a puncture in Silverstone, so hopefully he doesn't. But if he does get a puncture today, I'm sure he'll be hoping it'll be right at the end, so he can make himself look cool as he drifts across the line. But it's going to be very close to punch territory. Although it is a joking matter, it's going to be very close, and it will take a big difference in the championship, because although he's not been in talks of the championship really, compared to the likes of Digweed and Indian Jesus, he's been the dark horse there, just sat there waiting for his chance to jump up into him, and you can tell how slow he's taking those tyres, that they do not feel good. I mean, even him who runs medium traction control, you can tell that he's just risking pushing them rears a bit too much out in front of his front tyres. And Richie, as you said, is catching.
Yeah, he's just pulled in another sort of half second on that lap. Only got 3% ERS though, so the one thing Bailey's got going for him is he's got a lot of ERS in reserve. Only Jerry at the front, who hasn't really needed to use it with more, but it's definitely getting close. I see Deluxey going around again. He's not had the greatest thing, but obviously will be scoring a point should he finish this race. That's the one good thing.
Jay Hartnell getting past Bunnies, as you were talking about the drivers ahead. Bunnies obviously 18 laps on their mediums. It's going to be close to the point where Bailey is on his hards, and it's not going to feel great. Spin there for...
Oh, Richie. There you go. That's big. 3-second penalty for Richie, who runs wide coming through the middle sector. So where does that put? Oh!
He's not lost any position.
No, but he's right on now as Indian Jesus. Under 2 seconds, 4 laps to go. I reckon if Jesus gets past here, what is he? No, he'll get DRS from Polish man, the lap car, and Deluxey, 2.5. It could be a fun 3 laps for him. Richie's now got, with that penalty, got 2 seconds to Bill to hold on to. Can he do it?
Yeah, this is going to be interesting. They're on the same tyres, so we know on pure pace Indian users will have the upper hand on Greek Bill, but Greek Bill hasn't been making many mistakes. We did just see him do one.
Yellow flag in sector 1. Deluxey, he's out. Deluxey is out.
And that's a safety car.
Here we go. What's going to happen here?
It's going to be great. It's going to be great for you to watch, but it does ruin the risk of the tyres. And if it's your laps car, you've just got to be safe. You can't be spinning for 2 seconds.
Sure. We say about ruining the race because you can't, as you said, you can't unlap yourself. This safety car's got maybe a lap before it has to come in. Lap 33, you'll be coming in. So literally, as soon as Jerry catches up to this, and Bailey, I'm wondering Trunders certainly isn't going to catch this safety car. I don't think by the time it comes in. Obviously, Polish man is lapped. So
I think you'll be surprised. I think once they get behind it and everything's made this
Jerry's in. Jerry is in.
Yeah, they're going to have
Jerry is in.
If they don't get in, they're going to get absolutely swamped.
Richie's staying out. Richie is staying out.
Well, Richie better hope that safety car comes in now while everyone's still in the pits, because otherwise
in comes Greek Bill.
Being swallowed.
Jesus is out as well. The championship leader Jesus is staying out?
Indian Jesus, I believe he is, yeah.
He is staying out. Jay Hartnell on those fresh medium is out. Bunnies is in. Gautier in. We wait for Trunders, Eek and Polish man. Obviously, Polish man is still out.
I don't know why Indian Jesus has done that. He had plenty of time to get in the pits and catch up to the queue. Same with Ritchie. I'm absolutely baffled to that decision.
And especially with your 3-second penalty, the problem with the safety car this late into the race when you've got that 3-second penalty is when the field bunches up, you just haven't got the time to pull away. If it happens like when it had at the start of this race when we had one, it was sort of 10 laps in. You can sort of get away with it. You've got 20 laps, but with 2 laps to go, knowing it's going to come in at the end of this lap, you're just not going to pull away because Jerry's going to be right on his tail with those fresh softs.
Yeah,
exactly. It's unbelievable decision there from Ritchie.
I mean, it's going to be absolutely night and day for the last 2 laps, and I'll be so surprised if it doesn't end up in a crash because this is going to be carnage. We've got fresh soft runners compared to 25 lap old hards. It's the absolute mid-end, the absolute ends of the spectrum. There's no in between. It's going to be absolute day and night. Jay Hartnell's in the middle with the 9 lap old mediums, which I get why he'd stay out if he was quite far behind, but
there goes safety car in this lap. As I said, it gives you 2 laps of racing at the end of this game, so we are going to be in for one hell of a roller coaster.
Catch as well. If these lot take a slow restart, which I expect.
I just don't think
Ritchie and Indian Jesus are being with the hards. They're going to have no heat in them.
They can't put their foot down. Jerry's sitting there with full ERS as well. He's got a license to go here.
Unbelievable stuff to not pit. I'm really baffled by it. And they're gone. And
Ritchie is gone.
Already.
3/10, and just look at how quick Joe and how late he can be on the brakes as well. It's Indian Jesus and Hartnell.
Very close.
Indian Jesus is round.
He's gone. I have no clue why they stayed out on the hards. Honestly, absolute abysmal decisions from the drivers. RPM Ritchie getting overtaken by Riordan. They had the time. I understand there was little laps left, and it is a judgment call pretty quick on if you're on your own. I'm not under the pressure of driving, so I can understand that aspect of it, but surely you could see that there was enough time for you to get into the pits if the drivers ahead could have as well.
Not that DRS is a factor here, obviously. We didn't have the 2 racing laps to reopen it, but Jerry already, you can see, pulling away. He was half a second back coming out the final corner, and he's already pulled 2 seconds on Ritchie as there's a yellow flag in sector 2. Is Bailey going to make a move down the inside? Yes, he is. Look, you can just be softer on the brakes as well.
I feel really bad for Bailey because this would have given her a chance to fight Riordan on equal terms, equal tyres, which he hasn't had a chance to do this race. But because of the driver staying out, it's probably a block in between them, and Jerry's been given such a good gap to go into the final laps of the race. Bailey Fox looks like he's going to be taking a simple P2, and as you look at that, Jay Hartnell going up the inside of the Mercedes there, and the absolute.
Look at Bunny's coming around the inside. Oh, Bunny's off the road!
He pushed a McLaren off the road. What's he doing?
Oh, contact!
What is he doing? RPM Ritchie has absolutely lost his head after pushing people off, knowing he's made the wrong decision, completely losing a chance of a podium, and he's absolutely taking it out on drivers that have nothing to do with it.
He was so focused on avoiding bunnies who had gone deep into the corner after being on the grass that he just completely was unsighted to Gautier being there. That's
no damage for Gautier, luckily, but my God, what an awful display of racing there.
That's Jay Hartnell now with Greek built on his tail. Yellow flags in sector 2. I think that's Polish man going around again. Not been the greatest of races for him. Well, interesting as we come into the final lap then, Josh.
Yeah, we are just coming into it now. It's interesting because Bailey is holding pace to Jerry. It's hard to say that it would.
Oh, that was the final lap.
Oh, it was the final lap. Sorry, Riordan takes the win then. Bailey Fox takes P2. We're so focused on all the mess that was going on behind that we forgot to give congratulations to the ones ahead. But it's a double podium for Red Bull. It's a brilliant day for them. Not like it was yesterday in real life, but yeah, Jerry though, absolute storming it.
Big shout out to Trunders. I know he's got a bit lucky at the end there, but he stayed out in that safety car, managed to just catch the back of the pack, and with penalties and that incident between Ritchie and Gautier, has managed to get himself 5th place. Obviously missing last week, back in the car this week with a quali ban, and he's gone from 19th to 5th. So 23 laps on those hards at the end.
Very good racing Trunders. He was one of the the minority that didn't have a chance to pit at all, because if he did pit, he was definitely not catching it. It was obvious to see, but he just about caught the safety car at the very last second, and he's done well on the old hards. Even though he was on the old hards, he's not raced like they were soft, which we have seen some of the drivers to do, and I'm quite disappointed with how it ended. To be fair, with some of the antics of pushing drivers off and not giving room. But we'll see what the stewards think of it. I've said my piece, and I won't be soft about it. I'll say what I think as I usually do, and that's why I'm like Marmite. But we'll see what happens. It's a very good display though from the drivers up front. Jerry had a cracking race. It was nice to see that Bailey was holding pace and even gaining a few tenths in the last lap.
He takes the fastest lap home as well.
Who does?
Bailey gets the fastest lap of the race.
Another point for him as well. So yeah, it would have been nice to see them two on equal terms, equal measure in the last 2 laps. But to be fair, you can't really compare their pace in the last 2 laps because Jerry already had the gap and Jerry already had the chance to have a bit of lifting coast and be safe in the last few laps. So we can't really say that was his final form, but very good nevertheless from the both of them. Very good as well to the P3 finisher. Also, Jay Hartnell making it a double podium. I think that could be one of the first in Tier 3 if I'm not wrong. We might have had a Mercedes
might well be this season
before.
I'd like to say a big shout out to Polish man Christian, just because obviously he didn't have the greatest of races towards the end there, spinning around, but managed to stick to the end and takes 100 points.
Yeah. Bloody hell, I'm absolutely knackered from that, but
so I only did half a race, so it's fine by me.
we can get back on FIFA now and get our bloody get
bloody
Clivert.
No driver interviews.
No, let's give him an invite. You get Jay Artner and I'll get Bailey and Riordan in.
See if I can get Jay into this party. I don't even know if I have him as a friend.
Bazaresh, UFC Fox.
I don't. That's annoying. I'm not used to this commentary piece anymore.
Oh, you did well, honestly.
It's been a while since I was last in the box. Let's see if we can.
Riordan. Let me get his name typed in. There he is. With his little dragon icon. Right, Bailey?
Well.
That was a bit carnage, wasn't it, at the end?
Well, at the end?
Yeah, well, for you, it was the very start and the very end.
How about we get the elephant in the room out of the way?
What, turn 1, lap 1?
Yeah.
What happened there? Did you push off the Alpine, or was the Alpine spinning on his own? Because he seemed to take a spin after you went down the inside.
I don't think I touched him, but he did push me very narrow into that line.
Yeah.
Now, I have spun after, which has caused, I imagine, absolute chaos.
It was horrendous because when you first spun, I was behind like that. I didn't have a great start for line, and none of you were ghosting, and I was so. It was like I couldn't see what was going on, and there was wings flying everywhere.
Bro, I let out the ghouliest scream you have ever heard when I spun.
Well, yeah. Apart from that, you held good pace and didn't.
Outrageous pace.
Yeah,
mate, them hards were screaming.
I know.
They were screaming.
We were talking on stream when obviously you took 27 or 28 laps in the end. What
30,
were you looking
30.
at? What percentage were they?
Yeah, 72.
72.
I'll tell you what, 72 is not that bad for 30 laps. Thinking of it, for Hungary, that is pretty good.
Add in probably the 6 or 7 laps of safety car. Was that right? Was there fewer?
There was fewer. The safety cars weren't out for long, as we said in commentary.
Maybe 25, 26 then. Still a long way to go on those hards and only 70%, but like I say, they must have been screaming at the end.
What was jumping now to the end of the race, because obviously it was pretty stagnant for you mid-race with just holding position in P2, but how was it, what was you thinking when you saw people didn't pit under the last safety car?
Oh, I'm going to get them every day. I mean,
did you think it was a bit mad to not pit when they had the chance, though?
But they probably finished where they were going to finish anyway if they did pit, so... I mean, Fandango not pitting is insane.
Fandango was crashed out.
Yeah, but he stayed out on hards. Insane decision.
When was this? Because Fandango crashed out quite early.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, right at the
Was
end, it was
the other
Richie.
mate?
So,
Richie,
yeah, Richie stayed out.
Richie and Indian
Jesus.
Jesus. Because we were a bit
Didn't
baffled.
Indian Jesus crash?
At the
He
end, he
spun right at
out.
the end.
Yeah, that's it then.
Yeah, it was a bit.
Is he my
bit of
title
a bad
rival?
choice. Yeah, he's one of them.
Yeah, we take that.
Yeah, we'll take that. Has anyone else joined the party, or was it just you? Just you.
Oh,
yeah.
he's top. He's actually top.
Yeah. He had brilliant pace today. But he just made too many mistakes on his own.
Where did Digweed come?
Digweed crashed.
He crashed.
Oh!
He didn't crash. He got crashed, and then he retired on his own fruition. But I reckon there'll be a lot of reports, so you might get some more of a gap.
What about Mazzles?
Mazzles crashed, I think.
Oh, this is some week.
This is some week for Red Bull.
If I get away with turn one, which I might do based on the fact I did spin, honestly.
Yeah.
I might be top.
You might be. What do you think of
Here is the man of the hour.
Yes, lad.
Well, last question to Bailey before we get on to Jerry. How about Jay Artnell? Because usually it's one or the other with you or Jay Artnell. One of you's up top, one of you's had a bad race. But today you both had a good race, which is something which has never happened.
Well, because he stayed out on hards, I think after his third safety car, I mean, I'm sat there in a party on me and I'm begging him to let me through, and I think he did, because he did pull out way wide.
Yeah.
And he knew I was fast there, and I think he held up everyone behind. So if that is what he did, major respect.
Yeah.
What Max and Checo should be.
Well, Checo is that, but Max is a little rat.
So thanks, Checo.
Yeah, cheers, Checo Hartnell. But yeah, enough of you now. Well done.
Thanks.
But we're gonna jump on to the winner though. Jerry Riordan. How do you feel? Knackered, I expect.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, when I seen the last safety car come out, I fully thought it was done.
Well, fortunately for your end, you had some people who surprisingly didn't pit, which really baffled us. So it did put that block in between you and Bailey. Do you think it would have been a bit more exciting if Bailey was allowed to start behind you?
Yeah, definitely, because I was gapping him a little bit, but I think we kind of did have the same pace.
Yeah.
Because he was on a lot older hards than I was when I was on the hards. So I'd say if he was behind us, it definitely would have come down to the end. Like, I don't think it would have been a 2-second gap. I think he would have been in DRS, but obviously it wouldn't have been activated. So.
Yeah, we was thinking in the commentary, although he was sticking with you at the end, we thought maybe you could have just been playing it safe, knowing you had the gap after the hard runners stayed out, and give you that free little run. But yeah, it would have been good. But you had great pace all the way through anyway. I know you had a few laps younger tyres than Bailey, but your pace was still levels above it for a good portion of time with Bailey struggling. But apart from that, you had a pretty lonely race.
Yeah, just thanks to Indian Jesus for spinning, because I don't think I would have beaten, to be honest.
Yeah, well, yeah, you had a few honest mistakes from him today. Which is,
even after he spun the first time, and like he was 7 seconds behind. Obviously, he's a lot faster than I am. Like, so I was still expecting him to catch up eventually, and I probably would have had to fight him out. But he spun again. So
sound like a broken record in this stream about it, but he had the best pace by a massive margin. We even saw in quality he had like 8 tenths gap to P2, which is never really a thing. And then he was absolutely cracking in the race, but unfortunately he just couldn't handle the mistakes with it. So yeah, it was unfortunate, but I think that sums it up. We'll probably leave it at that. Cheers for all the drivers' time, and cheers to Draper for joining me after having a horrific race. I really appreciate it. But we're gonna get off FIFA. We're gonna get off FIFA. Get our icon packs opened, and we'll see you for next week. Jump on for Tier 4, which will be on right now. Go see Hedghog spinning about 16 times, I reckon.
I think he's already out, mate.
Well, it's all right. You can go play with his Desai. And we'll be on for Thursday for Tier 2 and Tier 1, so we'll see you for that. And then we'll see you for next week, which will be... I'm not too sure what track it is.
Bahrain, and it's the final sprint race of the year, I believe.
Bahrain.
It
My
was the
headset's
season
just died,
finale.
so I think this is a good time. I can't hear what any of the others are saying if they are saying, but this is a good time to leave it out. We'll leave it 3 seconds because we get the